Also, how do you how I see I grew up with this notion that you have to keep the melody right up there, you know. So uh, when do you come out of that and just, what's the best time to come out of that and just play harmonizing the best possible um scenario?
Yeah, yeah. I think the melody on top rule, um, in my opinion, it's formed because it's easy to understand,
Okay.
and it's easy, especially when you're teaching a beginner musician, in terms of placement, to keep the melody on top. This just helps them with placement. However, let's think of it like this. You know, the Sopranos generally, if this were the case in every gospel song, the Sopranos would always have the melody. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah, which is not true, right?
That's not true.
Yeah.
Sometimes the melody will switch to the altos. Sometimes it may even switch to the tenors.
Yeah.
But doing that requires you to, I think, to just kind of understand kind of some of the basics. So I think that's what you're asking, like in terms of the rules for that. And I haven't honestly given it a whole lot of thought. I think the way I think of it is that the note on top, if it's not the melody, it needs to at least be harmonizing with the melody.
Okay.
So it's a note that would harmonize with the melody, like in a song, right? So here I am to worship is an F sharp, right? The top note's an F sharp because that's what the person is singing. But I could have, if I wanted to make that worship an alto note, then the soprano note would be singing an A because it would just be a D triad, right?
Right.
So an A is an acceptable note to have on top,
Yes.
right? So, but I can't just add any note on top. It's a note that naturally harmonizes well already with the melody. So the only time I really feel like that's useful though is if you're kind of like creating your own melodies and kind of moving in and out of different things, stuff like that. I don't say like I think as a basic rule you should keep the melody on top.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is you don't have to follow that 100% of the time.
Yeah.
There are exceptions to every rule, and I think one of the exceptions would be if you're harmonizing the melody, with a different note that works with the note that's on top. You know, as long as it doesn't confuse the listener, right? Because the person singing may get confused depending on that. So it just kind of it really have you really have to feel it out.